Hey guys, Ashley Storm here for A.G.E Paratalk with Sandy and Russ Wells. Tonight they're going to be taking you on a haunted history tour of Concrete, Washington. I'm going to go ahead and add Sandy in real quick.
Hi,
Hey
everyone.
Sandy. Okay, we're ready to go. You can go ahead and just the go ahead and give the background and everything,
Yeah,
and then if you guys have any questions or anything, I'm just going to be here to
excuse
relay
the
those
truck
to
going
Sandy.
by. We still got traffic down here in concrete, so if you see cars going by, yeah, I can't do nothing much about that. So, anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around so they can see what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Hang on just a second. Okay, down there, okay, you're on two sides of the river. This is the Baker River right here. Concrete was founded, there was two settlements founded in 1890. One was on the east side over here, they called it Minnehaha at first, and then they changed it to Baker. That was the first settlement, and then the Portland Cement Company came in, and there was another settlement on this side of the river, which is the west side of the river. And down at the very end of Baker is the Skagit River. I mean, you have a confluence of two different rivers running through concrete, which we believe is one of the reasons why this town is so haunted. You got a lot of water running around. You got minerals that sit underneath the town, like limestone, quartz, all kinds of things. And this place was perfectly set up for paranormal activity. I'm not kidding.
Let's see where these guys are going right here in this truck. They are going up Devil's Tower, up towards the Devil Tower area.
Which we'll talk about here in just a minute.
Hi, Mama Ash.
Hello, Brother Russ.
Anyway, so those two were set up, and then they decided to make it into one town, and that's how it ended up being concrete. There was Baker, there was Cement City, and then they converged, and now it's just one town of Concrete, Washington. And the reason they called it concrete was because they were producing concrete up here for the dams that were being built upriver. There's three major dams upriver from us. There's one here on the Baker, but I don't think you can see it from here. But we'll take you over and let you look to see the river again. See, the river winds around this way, and the Baker Dam is up over here. Up above where the Baker Dam was the limestone crushing plant, which they used to produce the cement or concrete. And now we call it Devil's Tower because of all the paranormal activity up there. I mean, it is crazy kind of paranormal. The kind that makes your hair on the back of your neck go woo, woo, woo. I mean, creepy stuff. Creepy stuff. And we can tell you the story about that if you guys want to hear it. But anyway, so this bridge right here used to be how the main highway would run through concrete. And but now we have the bridge down there. You got to get off the road before you get ran over. The bridge right over there, you can see the cars going across. That's the main highway now. That's Highway 20. So we call it Bloody 20 because it's so many wrecks on there. Anyway, I'm going to switch you back around so you can see me. There we go. So we're going to walk up this way towards the town. Russ, we might have let him take a walk while we're in town.
And naturally, coffee.
And Russ is drinking coffee, as usual. Okay, so let me tell you a little. Like I said, it's up over there. We went up there one night at midnight and investigated. Didn't really think much about it. You know, we'd heard the stories about it being really haunted and you know, the really scary stuff that was happening. Then you could get into the plant. Now you can't because there's no trespassing signs everywhere. But we were in there and everybody was, you know, roaming around doing their paranormal stuff. And there was this one spot on the floor where you could actually stick your hand down in and take pictures below on the bottom floor of the building. And as I did that, I got this overwhelming sense that we needed to leave. It was like, it was like flashing red lights going off in my head. It was, Ashley, you probably know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's just overwhelming.
Danger.
Yeah, exactly. And so I got up and I said, guys, we need to leave now. And they said, why? We just got here. I said, we need to leave now. I'm not kidding. And so we all said, okay, so we started walking back towards the car, which was probably about a quarter of a mile back to the car. And as we're walking along, we could hear something in the woods, like trailing us. And I'll let Russ tell you about this part because he's the one that actually saw it. Turn over here because your face is shaded out. There we go.
Oh, do I look better? How about that better? I'm just trying to get my now. Rich and I, Rich is he's taller than I. Even back then, after my accident, I kind of shrieked up a little bit. But we're both pretty tall guys, and this thing, you have to understand when the road slopes off, we're talking a drop. Oh, excuse me, my dog.
Sorry.
The troubles of being live. The drop off itself was at least 6 feet, a 6 feet cut down where the road is, the trees coming up at least 6 feet. And the eyes that we saw were solid red.
Blood red. Sorry about the car.
And they were eye level with us, looking straight at us. There was no way they could be up in the trees because the oaks or the pine trees around here do not have enough limbs that would support something that big, especially in them thin trees.
Yeah, it wasn't like an owl or anything.
Yeah, no, it was creepy, and it shadowed us all the way. It ghosted us. It's a military term. You're being trapped.
Get him off the road.
He's fine. Nothing's coming. Concrete. Yeah. It followed us all the way. It chased me.
Yeah.
It was crack.
And Russ had his spotlight on, so he actually did get a glimpse of it.
Only for a second. Black mass. Oh, come here. He's a good boy. All I saw was a black mass.
With big red eyes.
He's about, I don't know, 6, 7 foot tall. It was huge. From my vantage point. But then you got to add in the drop off, where the ground actually goes down for the road sloping. Where they put the road in. Of course, they got to level it out, so you can climb the grade. And the drop offs of some of them areas, they're pretty good. You wouldn't want to fall off.
It's probably, so we estimated it to be about 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Okay. So we all got in our cars. We got out of there. We all got in our cars.
We can go this way.
And we came across the bridge here. And you see Dobby walking, kind of like what we saw. Except it was a great big black wolf looking like dog walking up the sidewalk right here. I mean, going really slow. So when we seen it, I don't know, just like it was almost like our attention was pulled to it. I'd never seen this dog in town before, and we'd been around for a while at that point. And this dog is walking slowly up the street here. And I'll tell you more about it when we get up the sidewalk. You gonna put him back in the car?
Why?
Because we're going into town, and I don't want him getting entangled around other people.
Oh, come on, dog.
You can bring the car up if you want. Anyway, so we're walking. It's walking up the sidewalk at a, fairly good pace, like a dog would, And it gets up here by the old fire station. Well, at that night, we had been doing an investigation at our friend's sandwich shop, which is, I'll show you when we get up here to town. Sorry about the heavy breathing. It's uphill a little bit. So, okay. So I get you up here by the fire station. I'll show you where it sat down. It just sat down like it was looking watching us as we turned the corner. There's a stop sign right over there. And it sat down and was just watching us as we pulled in over by Val's sandwich shop, which is haunted too. Hang on a second. Okay, who's got the inhaler? Just kidding. This is Russ, our crazy dog hanging out the window. Anyway, so okay, here's the old fire station. The dog sat down right here on the street and right here and was watching us, and we parked right about over in here. Turned the cars around, was facing this way, and we watched it. Well, after a short time, it just got up, started walking right back down the sidewalk right here, and it disappeared. Well, come to find out, years later now, we have found out that many people have seen that dog, but they know that it doesn't belong to anybody here in town, so they don't know where it came from. Our thoughts, sorry guys, our thoughts on it was that it could possibly be a shapeshifter. We talked to a young man a couple years ago who was in one of our walking tours, and he was Native American. He said that the Native Americans put protection creatures on their lands around here to keep people out. So we're almost thinking that the experience we had up at Devil's Tower was just that, some kind of protection creature. And what are you doing? Oh, okay. And so that's the story about Devil's Tower. I can't explain to you how fearful it felt up there. Our friend Val will never go back up there. She was so scared. I mean, we were all scared, but not like she was. She was very scared.
We picked the worst time. They had an annual celebration here of Mardi Gras.
Today.
And it was today, and it just got over with. And
so we got traffic.
This is the busiest you'll ever see concrete on anything.
Yeah.
4th of July, and then there's
Food Bank Day.
There's a couple of days where it gets pretty busy.
Yeah.
It's a quiet hotel.
Okay, so over the years, we've investigated probably almost every building in this town. This building right here, you can see in front of you.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick. What's the population of the town?
Oh gosh, 900 and some people. Yeah, it's not very big.
Right now, well, I'd have to go into the bar. I'll let you know how many.
Yeah, most of them are in the bar right now.
I mean, I don't say that discouraging. I just mean that in a way, there's just not much to do in concrete.
No, well, we don't drink, so we don't go to the bar. But anyway, the building right here in front of you used to look different. It was the old Mount Baker Hotel. And it was built probably in the early 1900s or maybe late 1800s. And it is still to this day very, very haunted. Russ and I had an experience in the basement of this building where we went down there by ourselves. The rest of our team stayed up on the main floor. And Russ, we got down to the bottom of the stairs, and one of them was broken off. And me, with my little short legs, I couldn't get down the stairs, so Russ went down by himself. I just sat down on the bottom step, or the step above the bottom step, and started doing some EVPs. And Russ felt like something put their hand on his shoulder. I'll let him tell you about his experience.
Well, it just really compacted in there.
There's a lot of junk down there.
The boiler takes up a lot of room. There's enough room to get around it to maintain it. Little storage area, but it's really tough to get in and out for moist, damp area. But as soon as I got down there, it was around. I mean, like on the shoulder, bang, bang, like normal guy would do. Hey, how you doing? Can I bother you? And And it got my attention right away, and we found a passed on soldier.
Oh, yeah,
we didn't know at the
wait a
time, but
minute.
Sandy can give you more on that one.
Okay, so it's right about the same time that Russ got touched on his shoulder. I got the name in my mind. I got the name. What was his name? Oh, Dennis. No, Dennis. Dennis.
Yeah.
And then I got the name Cole, which is C-O-L-E.
Yeah,
Cole.
yeah.
And
Oh,
so Dennis Cole, and the Cole family was very, very much involved in the history of this town. They had a hotel, they had a bakery, they had all kinds of little businesses in this town. Well, one of the Coles was the wife of one of the Cole brothers, and she actually had a hotel that sat on the corner that I'll show you down here. Is not there anymore. It's just a parking lot, but
burnt down.
It burned down. But she was a prostitute, and she would bring in her customers to the hotel, and well, one thing led to another, and they do their thing. So, I can't remember her first name, but her last name was Cole. But anyway, this Dennis started out him that he had served in Vietnam, that he had been shot in the head and he died. And I asked him why he was still here, and he was looking for his girlfriend that he was engaged to when he had gone to Vietnam. Interesting thing about that is I couldn't have proved it, but it was like he was guiding me to where I needed to find out about him.
Mm-hmm.
And one day we were in Burlington, which is about 20 minutes downriver from us.
We had to go to the post office.
We had to go to the post office. Well, right across from the post office is the VFW, excuse me. And right outside of it is a plaque of all the soldiers who died from the Skagit Valley area.
A monument.
Yeah, it was like a monument. And so I went just out of curiosity, I went up and looked, and I'll be damned if his name was not on it, Dennis Cole. And so I told Russ, and I was kind of like, getting those shivers up my spine because I didn't expect to find his name on that at all. Then recently, I found out where he was buried through Find a Grave, and I went to the cemetery in Cedar Woolley and found his grave.
Yep.
I still haven't had a chance to get back there. I wanted to do an EVP session to see if we could get any kind of further information from him, see if he remembers us, that kind of thing, but I haven't had a chance to do that. I'm going to, before we leave the state, do that because I feel like very connected to him. But the hotel, like I said, the hotel is very haunted. It's got a little girl that a lot of people have seen. I don't know if they've seen her since they redesigned the hotel, which I wish they hadn't done because the hotel was historic.
Yeah, it's completely changed.
But now,
just the outside. I'm sure they did the inside too, but here's the thing. I don't care how much facade you put on. I don't care how much drywall you put on. I don't care how much you change it. The inner structure is the same. The 2x4s is the same. That energy's going to stay.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't going to go anywhere. It's
right.
It's just like this place has got stuff imprinted on it. Val, great friend of ours.
She had a cafe not only over on that side of the street, but she had one in here.
Multiple. There was so many eyewitnesses to paranormal events, things happening.
A lot of shadow figures in this building. We saw several times. A lot of EVPs.
These out of towners.
I don't know. They came to Concrete, Washington, Mardi Gras. Woo! Anyway, so that's the old fire station right there.
Yeah.
It is no longer in use.
This used
obviously.
to be a gas station right here.
And this is a gas station. And okay, we're going to talk about the buildings on that side of the street because that's where we did most of our investigations. We didn't do anything in these two.
Corvette alert.
We got a Corvette running by. And nice car.
I gave the guy a thumbs up. That's a beautiful car.
Oh, wow. They moved the museum over here.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Anyway, it shows how much we get downtown. Anyway, so that building right there, the yellow one, is used to be the
The Eagles.
no,
right?
the Eagles were down there. What was this one? I think it was the VFW.
It
Pretty
could've
sure. Anyway, so we did an investigation there. Didn't get a whole lot of activity in it, but Russ did get the name of the original president of the VFW when it first was formed through, psychic thing.
Isn't it the
Yep.
same place where I picked up Jonesy the cat?
No, that's
That was
Eagles.
down here?
Yeah.
Oh, that was weird too.
Well, anyway, talk about your experience with that.
Oh, well, in there, I wasn't getting anything, but the whole time going through my brain was Waylon and Willie
Mm-hmm.
singing. Couldn't get it out of my head. And, everybody's like, well, give us your feedback. What you
That
got
wasn't
there.
Willie. Yeah, it was Willie Janet.
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you pick up on? And I'm telling them everything, and who found it? Was it me that found it? Or?
Yes, you found it.
Up on the wall.
The back wall.
Back wall. It was the last room I even went into. The main chairman of
He was the president.
founder,
Yeah,
I guess.
president founder.
Yeah. His name was W. Jennings. I mean.
Yeah. So the song was his way. The spirits telling him who this guy was.
That's the way I get things. I see
The
famous people
cryptic
here.
way they give it to you.
Yeah. He gets it with music or dates or something like that.
Down at the other place, I didn't really.
Wait, we haven't got that far yet.
Oh yeah, that's.
Okay, so that's what we got there. That little store. Let me see if I can get you closer because it's dark. That little store right next to it is where. Yeah, it was where Versatile Dreams was, which was Val's little sandwich shop at that time that we did the investigation. And the lady that's in there now, I've talked to her, and she said she does have still have paranormal experiences there. It was the one place. Now, Russ and I, we don't really dig on orbs too much. I mean, but there are certain times that you have to kind of question yourself even about, spirit orbs or light anomalies is what I like to call them.
Well, because when
Anyway.
you see it with your eyes versus when you see it on camera, it's
Right.
a lot different. We don't pick up on dust specks. We don't pick up on the same things cameras would. So if you see a large light anomaly or you have that coinciding with something else that's happening at the same
Right.
time, that's a lot different.
Yeah. Well, in this case, it was during the summer. It was hot. And so Val and one of the other investigators were sitting at one of her tables, and the fan was blowing on them. Well, when we look back at the video, you can obviously see the dust flying around. I mean, just from the fan blowing, you get dust no matter how clean you are. But anyway, we actually saw two different light anomalies that went into the blowing of the fan. I mean, like, fan was blowing this way towards
They
us.
went into the oncoming flow and out the other side. So that's not dust.
Right. No.
Dust ain't gonna do that.
And it had a unique traveling, the way it was traveling through the fan itself was pretty cool too.
It wasn't a flasher. A lot of your dust, even bugs, you'll notice when they're going through the scene
That they're flashing.
They flash a lot, and that's because they're cutting through the independent beams.
Because most of us use LED lights, which,
So you got all these multiple beams coming out. Just look at the front of your camera. You'll see it on stationary big cameras, and that's what you'll see. They'll go through and they light up, bang, 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 like that. Kind of looks like they're a globe lightning bugs,
right?
For a better sense of the word. But these were solid. Never flickered. Never did anything. They were illuminating. It was, putting out light.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
First time we'd ever seen any orbs like that, or that we would even consider being something paranormal. Next to that is the food bank. I know it's getting dark, guys, and I apologize for this, but we might just have to talk about it. Anyway, so we didn't do anything in these next two buildings. Now, right across the street here, I'll show you in just a second. Let me stop walking. This is where that hotel used to be. This is just a parking lot now. That's where Mrs. Pohl had her brothel. So, okay, we're going to walk down here to the corner. It's not a very big main street, believe me. You can do it in about a couple hundred steps. Let's see.
It's really nice, though. I like little towns like that. I prefer
Yeah.
that over a big city any day.
She's looking at the beginning of town down there.
I mean, this is where
right there.
This is where we walked from. It's not very far. Well, anyway, now it's called the Lone Star, but the Eagles used to be right in here. It was another like fraternal order or whatever, you know. And so that looks different.
The same.
Sorry, guys. Anyway, so the Eagles used to be in here, and Russ got another one of those weird little ways he picks up on things, and he'll tell you.
Different. Oh, well, there, I didn't really get anything, but I was kind of
Trying to get light on you. There you go.
I was kind of walking around, and the only thing that kept reoccurring to me and coming into my brain, man, anybody sci-fi fan? Alien. But Aliens, the first,
Yeah.
Jonesy the cat.
Yeah.
I know he wasn't a big star, but he had a big role.
Yeah.
And he did live. That's who I saw. And well, you know, we come out and we're talking to people, and I'm like, I didn't get anything. The only thing I could think of is Jonesy. And the guy goes, Jonesy, he's been dead about 40 years, man. How do you know about him?
Yeah,
Jonesy
see,
the cat.
it was an old man that used to go in the Eagles all the time, and his name was Jonesy.
His name was Jonesy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Apparently, he's still in there.
Yeah. So,
I have a
Anyway.
comment real quick from Robert White, who's watching. He said, if the brothel is no longer there, are the spirits still inhabiting the car park?
actually, you know what? They're not. They're in the motel. We've discovered a couple different ladies that haunt the motel right there.
Yeah.
So I think they just moved over to a different building. Actually, the bakery that Mrs. Cole owned was where the food bank is right now. So they've had experiences in there. I'll tell you something about concrete. All these buildings, obviously, you can tell that they're all put together. They're like stuck side by side. Well, our discovery during our investigations of these buildings was that the spirits were actually traveling from one building into the next.
That's what it seemed like.
It was like a paranormal highway in the back of the building. They were going from building to building to building, and ending up down in the bank down there. We've got spirits, a little boy spirit there that we also got in the Cascade Supply. So I mean, these spirits were following us from building to building as we investigated. It was pretty cool.
Well, actually, the first one that we were called in on was Concrete Theater.
Yeah, which is right there.
And then we did Baker River Trading Post.
Which is right next door.
Next door, and the Hub,
And then we did the.
Cascade Supply.
I'll tell you about the Hub here in
This
just a minute.
place, we did every building, I believe.
Pretty much. Well, as many as people would let us.
And you guys have to keep in mind, this town was settled in 1890. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's fairly old. It's I was talking to the viewers.
Okay.
I know you guys know how old it is.
Yeah.
But it was settled in 1890. And, I mean, it's from what I've interviewed them on my show before, and just the stories they have alone just from this little solidified area, it's very interesting that, I mean, it's kind of like the spirits just travel within the whole town. It's like it's all their playground.
And the crazy thing is, I'd say if we could add up how many different spirits that we came in contact in this town and in all the different buildings, you're looking at about 30 or 40 ghosts altogether. I mean, because some are very, very powerful or energetic, to talk to. Other ones you come in contact with once in a while. I am really sorry about the traffic, guys.
Yeah, it normally is right. Then you got natural stuff. This building right here, we were called in because they had on tape, they had an orb. And this orb would appear on this table.
Mm-hmm.
And
it wasn't a table. It was like a cooking.
Yeah.
The back of it, like a stainless steel backing on a stove.
Right. And they were just solidly convinced that something paranormal was going on in their kitchen. And if she can turn, there's a telephone pole right here. There's a light.
See the red truck? Right behind that truck is a door.
Right.
That has like a half moon shaped window in it.
so the street light would bounce in off of the opening in the door. It reflect surfaces like stainless steel in the kitchen. It would bounce around about 3 or 4 times on different things, and then wind up in the middle of the screen on the surveillance camera.
Right.
Once we blocked the screen, the door, it was eliminated. Problem solved.
Katrina Parrish said she remembers you telling her about them following you guys.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, okay, the Concrete Theater was a really interesting one. We did not on a Ouija board, but we used a planchette, a glass, a bar glass actually, upside down on the floor of, like a tile floor. And we all sat around that, and it was me and my friend Rachel and the owner of the theater, or the manager of the theater. And she's passed away now, but she was telling us that she came in contact herself with a female, which we did. I did find that she was correct on that. Not only, hang on just a second, guys.
Well,
Sorry, I'm gonna get up on the sidewalk here. Anyway, logging people. So when we investigated, we did get EVPs of a woman several times. Also got an EVPs of a male. But let me get back to what I was saying about doing the planchette kind of seance, I guess you call it. We did that for about 20 minutes, and the last part was really intense. The female left. She quit answering our questions, but she was at first. Come to find out she was murdered. And we think by the guy that's in here with her, the spirit that's in here with her, and never could find his name on any records, but Russ did come up with a Raymond Collier. Don't know who that is. But anyway, as we were using the glass at the very last part of it, it started sliding across the floor by itself. And we all put our finger on it, and then it just, like, you could feel the glass kind of lifting onto its side. And like it was something was pushing it towards the wall, like it was going to throw it against the wall. Because it didn't want us to know about it, So then several years ago, we had a friend come to Concrete for the first paranormal conference that these people hold up here. And she's from California. Anyway, she was saying that when she went into the hub, which is right there, she picked up on a woman who said that she had been in the theater, but she moved to the hub because she didn't like the spirit that was trying to hold her there. So we think that's another reason why we think that these spirits just kind of just move all through these buildings, and they do that to this day. The hub is probably one of the most haunted buildings in the town. Obviously, it's a tavern. Another reason is taverns have a tendency to be very violent, with all the fights and everything else. They used to have gambling back in the day. And so,
Especially in a
table.
small town like that, you don't really have, if the local law knows everybody, it's kind of like a free-for-all.
It is. And we got one of our apparition pictures that we actually got was in the hub. So when it's of a male, and he has kind of a beard, and wore kind of loose clothes, like guys do up here, kind of like logging clothes, like the guys loggers wear,
Mm-hmm.
And we asked the owner when we brought the review. We did the reveal for the investigation to him. Sorry about all the noise, guys. Anyway, so he said, "Oh my God, what's that guy's name? Where'd you go, Russ? What was that guy's name? The guy, the ghost. Oh, Mac.
yeah, Matt.
Yeah, his name was Mac." And so they still have that picture on the wall in the hub, and you can see him, the spirit, standing into the pool table. I wish I could show it to you right now, but they're kind of busy over there, and I don't want to get. Oh, what are you guys doing? Yeah, that kind of.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Mardi Gras. Kind of. Everybody's drinking today, so.
That bridge that you guys were on earlier, is that the Henry Thompson Bridge?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that guy in particular, or one of the guys that were like the supervisor or something who helped build that bridge, died right
He was
before they.
killed by a logging train in 1918, right after they finished construction. The
Right.
Henry Thompson, he was a Scottish immigrant.
Okay, because I didn't look up much of history, just because I so. But yeah, I think you're absolutely correct on that. Yep. Um, I would love to take you guys inside the hub, but they don't know we're coming, and I don't want to do that. But I'd love to take you guys in the theater.
Katrina Parrish said, "Is the hub still open today?" It is open. It's open right now. But she said, if so, do they still get activity while people are in there?
Absolutely, all the time. People get poked, pinched, their hair pulled, everything. And they have like a back area where they do sandwiches and stuff. And the cooks always get stuff moving around back there. And okay. And so here. This is probably one of the oldest buildings in concrete too. Besides the theater. Theater actually be a place for people in. And
You're kind of breaking up.
which I'll show you that. Sorry, I'm getting close to the buildings. Anyway, this building's in town. And there's a theater, a better shot at the theater. And all these buildings, like I said, they're all stuck together, so it really doesn't surprise me too much. Are we doing okay, Sil?
Yeah.
Really don't surprise me too much that they're all haunted. Cascade Supply has 2 ghosts, as far as I can remember, and I'm pretty sure. And this is a really old building too. It's still got wooden floors. All these buildings right through here have wooden floors in them still. Original like slat kind of floors.
Mhm.
Up in the loft up there. I don't know if you can see it closer here.
You're kind of breaking up again.
Get out here. Oh, okay. Better?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to back up here a little bit, get away from the buildings. But the Cascades has 2 ghosts. One hangs out in this feed area, and the other one hangs out in the top of the main floor, and which is a little bowl. And this little guy, we're all sitting around in a circle.
You're kind of breaking
We had
up.
a
Sorry.
across the across. Anyway, so there's, I don't know what you guys heard. The little boy ghost that is in the Cascade Supply. We were sitting around in a circle trying to get him to communicate with us and move a toy that a little airplane toy that we sat in the middle of us. And we actually had it on video watching that thing move across the floor. He was us, which was really cool. He's still there as far as the people that own the place absolutely believe in this paranormal stuff, I'll tell you. Now the shadow guy in the feed area, he's not so nice. I don't know who he is. Never was able to figure out any name or anything for him. But down there, you see the bank. Back then it was Summit Bank. Now it's Savvy Bank. But the bank has 3 different floors. The top floor was where the police department used to be, or one of the places the police department was. And the main floor is the bank, and the underneath of the basement is where they actually used to have a bowling alley. It's kind of cool. Yeah, a 2-lane bowling alley. Yeah.
Where is the Herald building in proximity to where you're at right now?
The Herald building.
The newspaper, the Concrete Herald. It's a newspaper company that ran as a liquor store in the 1980s.
That would be this building right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to walk you guys down here because I'm going to show you something. It's the old elementary school. Let me know if I start breaking up or anything.
Okay. Katrina Parrish said they're messing with your feet, and Robert White said the ghost doesn't want its location known.
Probably not. Yeah, we used to have some fun times with them because they would cooperate one time and the next time we wouldn't get anything, or we'd get nasty, like get swore out, that kind of thing.
Bank was cool.
The bank was very cool. I actually had an experience where I was channeled through, and it was of the little boy that boy in that building right there is the same boy that's in the Cascade Supply, and he must have followed us because I think we did the bank 2 nights after we did Cascade Supply. I don't know if he went home with us or whatever, but anyway, on this lot here, there used to be the old elementary school, and it sat right there. Well, there's still a piece of it down there, but this part right that burned down because somebody got careless with some candles. But it was pretty creepy too, and we never got a chance to investigate it, which really disappointed me. But if you look down the street there, just follow the street down to the stop sign. That is as far as concrete goes. It's not very big at all. Kind of stretched out, very haunted. I wish I could have people come up and we could investigate the town again. But some of these people have gotten kind of snitty about us investigating, or anybody investigating. Concrete Theater, she doesn't want her spirits upset, whatever. But
We're trying to enjoy a movie and they start messing with you.
yeah, I mean, so you have to kind of put up with the ghosts while you're there, I guess. But
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, go ahead what you were going to say, because I wasn't going to say anything.
Katrina Parrish is asking, was there an old filling station close to the supply store?
Actually, you know what it was? I think there was like a car dealership in town here. When I was a kid, I remember there being a car dealership, and I think it was that building that sits on the corner right over there. Right over there. So I'm going to take you guys. And I was going to tell you something about the bank. When we were down in the basement, I picked up on this old drunk guy, and he, come to find out, he had died on the railroad tracks that are down below. Well, they're not there now, but we're down below behind all the buildings. And maybe I can show you I'll take you over here. You guys can see it. I don't want to walk down the hill because I have ankle issues. So anyway, where is you?
Robert
can
Parrish said that's convenient that the bank is below the police station.
Yeah, wasn't that funny? And they actually had a bank robbery there, and they portray it every Halloween on their city ghost tour. So it's pretty cool. But you can't really see it too much. But down through the brush over there, near the highway, is where the line for the railroad tracks used to go, and would go down straight down that way through the trees and stuff. Well, anyway, people would go into the Concrete Theater just to sit and watch a movie or whatever, or a newsreel, and wait for the train to come. Then they had a back door, and they'd walk up onto the stage, and they'd go out the back door and catch their train.
Just let you guys know, it has dropped 20 degrees in the last 15 minutes.
When this happens every time we start talking about the ghosts in this town. I'm not kidding you.
It just gets real
the last time we were here. Oh, there it is. The last time we did like a ghost walk where we told about the stuff that we picked up on here as investigators. We were down this little hill down in the parking lot down there, and as we walked up, the wind just started blowing like crazy. It was like when we started, it was like 50 degrees or 45 to 50 degrees, and it was like end of October. And then all of a sudden we got up here and the temperature dropped like 30 degrees. It was so cold. And everybody's going, oh my God, I didn't wear the right coat for this, And every time we talk about the ghosts in this town, it gets cold.
Yeah.
The first time that Russ and I investigated here was the Concrete Theater. Well, we were driving up this hill right here. And I was telling Russ, I said, you know what? it feels like a black umbrella over the whole town, like this dark sludge or something that tops the town. And that's why this town is like failing. It keeps failing. Every time a business comes in here, it fails. Unless the person is so connected with the city that, you know,
Like grew up there, has
right. Yeah, they don't like outsiders
connections.
here. They do not like outsiders here at all.
Was there a big Native American population there back before all the settlements came in the 1800s?
Big Native American population here. There was the Sauk, the Swaddle, Upper Skagit. I
And
think there
Russ
was
is
another one.
Native American, but he's from Florida, which is weird.
Yeah, well, he's actually Cherokee, which is from like what, Tennessee and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
his family is originally from Tennessee. So
My
Do you
grandfather
think
was chief. Chief, what was his name?
he had his sixth great grandfather
Yeah.
was Chief Okanstata of the Cherokee Nation. He was a war chief. Yeah.
Very cool. Do you believe that the Native American settlement energy mixed with the fact that you guys have the Lower Baker Dam right there and it feeds into the Skagit River, and you guys also have what you call it? I can't Mount Baker with a stratovolcano inside of it, like and Mount Shishkin. It's like
Shushkin. Yep.
all of these.
We also have another one.
landmarks.
We also have another one called Mount Sauk, and it's like it's east of here,
Mhm.
and it's a huge mount too. I mean, a lot of granite, limestone, quartz, gold, I think even silver, some coal, that kind of stuff, and it's all underneath this town.
So you have literally a perfect mix for
Yeah,
a crazy
between the
type of paranormal activity.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they have active gold mines up here. They just it was just in the news not too long ago.
They're talking about opening up a gold mine
where
up
they
here.
can get permits to do it because they had to go in negotiation, of course, with the natives, because most of it's on their land.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But yeah, it's a very active little town. I mean, I wish that we could get back into the buildings, more of the buildings down here. But a lot of snobbery in this town. So it's not going to happen.
Well, especially when like tourists are there trying to get their Mardi Gras on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the busiest I've seen concrete in 3 months. I mean, ever since Halloween, that's about the busiest time of year here because people know that there's ghosts here. I mean,
Hi, Dobby.
Hey, Dobby, our little ghost dog. He's a chicken though. I mean, he doesn't like the whole spirit thing.
I bring him for protection.
This is like we only have one, two, three streets in the whole town.
Yeah.
Other than if you get down the other end. It's crazy. But
How far away from here, like the downtown, do you guys live?
about 5 miles.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, now you got to go across the Skagit River down at the other end. We were going to do, here, let me turn this around. We were going to
You're kind of cutting out again.
do some speed. Yeah, I got to get back across the street. It's not working. Hang on just a minute. This is one town you cannot worry about getting ran over. Okay, walk back over by the liquor store. More investigative stuff tonight, but then when we got here and realized that it was Mardi Gras today, and there's still people here, it wasn't going to work. So what we're going to do for you guys is plan it out on another Saturday, but do it at a later date or later time. I'll talk to David and see if he can arrange that for me. And then we'll just do a live investigation right downtown here. They can't stop us from doing that. So we actually got EVPs right on the street outside the theater several times. So we know that there's ghosts that just walk around this town. And I'm surprised my phone is still alive. Actually, it's about to die. I've got 8%. So
Well, we're hitting on the hour mark anyway, so
good.
everybody,
Wait a minute. Watch this.
there are a lot of people who came in tonight, and it's what is that?
Ducks, ducks for sale. Written right on the side of the building. Okay.
A lot of people who were in the chat tonight were either saying, it's very interesting, it's like a cool little town and they'd love to visit, or just kind of, just, again, interested in the fact that there's so much history. And
I wish I could go into depth. I would go into more depth, but like I said, we only have an hour, so I don't want to overrun my time. So, but if you guys ever want to know anything about concrete, just message me on American Ghost Hunters page. And I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. So, and Ashley, you're so sweet for doing this for us.
of course, guys, anything for you.
But anyway, welcome to Concrete, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it wasn't as exciting as you might think, but too many cars and too much shit going on around here. So, yeah. Anyway, we will say, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'll wrap it up when you guys are done.
I'm going to have to close out. I'm down to 6% on my phone, which is really unusual because I had almost 70% and my phone does not use that much battery. So
it's because they're draining it.
I know, probably the ghosties again. But anyway, thanks guys for coming and watching. We appreciate it. We will be back next Saturday. Not sure what we're doing yet, but we'll let you know in the middle of the week. Hi, thanks, Ashley.
Of course, guys. You be safe getting home.
Wait a minute. Bye.
Oh, bye. We love you.
Love you too. Give that little youngin' a kiss.
I sure will.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Okay, guys. So Sandy and Russ just wrapped it up in Concrete, Washington. They went pretty in depth with all of the buildings and their different experiences because, like they've said, they've investigated almost every single building in that tiny little town. So I went ahead and dropped the link for A.G.E Paratalk in the comment. So if you guys have any further questions or anything you didn't get to ask when you watch this on archive, you guys want to go ahead and ask them, go ahead and click on that link for A.G.E Paratalk for their Facebook page. They'll be more than happy to talk to you. Make sure you guys are tuning in again next Saturday for Sandy and Russ's Paratalk show. And then tune in next Monday for Storming the Unknown. You guys have a wonderful night. Have a safe weekend. And be kind to one another. And remember to go ahead and check out our Paranormal Bully Busters page. Sandy and Russ are a part of this too. It's a platform for not just bullying in the paranormal, but it gives everybody resources from the Stomp Out Bullying Foundation. So if your kids, if anybody in your life is having trouble with any type of bullying, we've been doing this for about a year now. Go ahead and go to our page, use all of our resources, reach out to us, and see what we can do to help. They have numbers for your suicide hotlines if you're ever feeling just that down. They have all different types of resources for the bullying as well, so you can get it out to the schools and get all of that information out for everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Robert, Katrina, Laura, Andrew, everybody else who was in here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Good night.